Good evening, beautiful people. Welcome to The Dish on MX24. My name is Miriam Uduack Mensah, your host, and as always, we bring you thought-provoking discussions and empowering perspectives that shape the narratives out here for women. Of course, when it comes to women, the conversation is quite different all the time. And sometimes when I say this, a lot of people tell me, why are you always making it look like the women are the victim out here? But aren't we? Okay. Are we not? Of all the things that you people have been doing to us, are we not victims? But yes, we try to disrupt outdated norms and drive real change with progressive women. And this evening, is no exception. Tonight, on The Dish, we are embarking on a conversation that I'm telling you is a powerful one, the journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Our topic today is awakening the real you, redefining yourself as a woman. I don't know if it's something you have thought of ever before. I'm pretty sure a lot of women like to chant a path of what mommy said or what daddy said or what it is looking like. In fact, now what the trends are looking like. Well, we're going to be delving into that pretty shortly. But before I get into it, I want to say a big thank you to Decozone for giving me such a beautiful set. I tell you all the time, if you want that house to be a home, make sure to grab your pieces, those centerpieces, those furniture from Decozone, and thank me later. Tell you that. A big thank you to Gino, Telecel, Cowbell Coffee, and Betway. The hashtag on social media is hashtag The Dish. So make sure to tag us on all social media platforms. Let's get the conversation going. Now, in a world where societal expectations and gender roles often dictate our path, it's easy to lose sight of who we truly are. But if we are told that you have the power to break free from these limitations and live a life that truly reflects your values, passion, and aspirations, well, how would you feel about that? Well, today the women in the studio are going to help us to get into that. Join me as we explore what it means to awaken your true potential and share the layers of condition and embracing your authentic self. Joining me for the conversation today, they're looking very bright. And when I say bright, I mean literally bright. Lady Jacky Essien, counseling psychologist and life coach. Good evening. Good evening. So we have Jacky and Jessica. So I was looking over there.
Okay.
And Jessica Daniel, media personality and entrepreneur. Good evening, ladies.
Evening.
You see the way they are brighting. They came with the light. The light has come. Freedom is coming for you. But ladies, how's it going? Good?
Good.
Ready for the conversation?
Yes, I am.
Redefining yourself. Wait, let's go a little bit to the backstory. When you saw the topic from my producer that we're going to be talking about, how did you feel?
Okay, when I saw the topic redefining, it felt so deep to me. Okay, we're going to switch things up a bit about ourselves as women. So that's what, I got from the topic when it was first sent to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
For me, I was like, wow. I mean, this is something that would really impact a lot of young women, mature women in general out there. And it might be a topic that would make them look at their lives and just begin something new from today.
And I totally agree with that. And yes, that's what we're trying to do. Again, you need to know that right here on the platform, we try to help women to unlearn outdated norms and be the best version of themselves. And also, one of the things that I realize is that you could be doing a lot of things but not growing. And so right here I say we're learning and growing together, okay? Now, what does redefining yourself mean to you as a woman growing up? You can even share your journey with us.
Okay.
Okay, because I have gone through different phases, and I sometimes feel like I didn't quite learn from that phase.
Yeah.
I just went through it. So what does redefining yourself mean to you?
Okay, so redefining myself as a woman to me means that I'm embracing my authentic self. I am changing what society thinks that women should do and creating my own version and my own definition of womanhood. That's what redefining, myself as a woman means to me. Embracing my authentic self. Creating my own pathway in understanding what womanhood truly understands, truly means, I beg your pardon. Now, I do this by changing the way I think and the way that I see life. Doing this has helped me understand that, okay, this is my own path. How do I walk it? How do I take the daily steps in understanding my true self, in staying true to myself as a woman? So that is what redefining myself as a woman truly means to me.
I love that.
And to add to that, I want to come from the direction of, over the course of a woman's life, there's going to be different phases. There's going to be different times in your life where you would have to actually sit back and then redefine what that phase means and how you would want to show up in that phase, right? Even within a particular phase, you could actually decide to do it more than once, you know, because take, for example, it could be a mother, or you could be about to have a baby, you're pregnant. In that phase, you could decide, okay, in this phase, I want to rest. My body needs me to rest. My body needs me to also be active, doing exercises or eating the right foods. And then once the baby comes, that's another phase. Now you have to decide, okay, do I want to be a stay-at-home mom? Do I want to be a working mom? Do I want to breastfeed? Do I not want to breastfeed?
Still in the scope of being a mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So that's it. So it's like, I've realized that it can change in different moments. And what we need to understand is a woman needs to know that it's okay to make an adjustment even within a phase. You don't have to be stuck to one particular you. You know, I mean, there's the essence of you, there's the foundation of you, but it's okay for you to reinvent yourself every step of the way. Yeah.
You guys ready for the show today? Because I don't think you are. I could have totally said that her point, I would have ended it there, but this perspective that you add to it makes it even amazing. I'm ready to learn. And one of the things that I also do right here is that we might be the ones sharing the topic with you, but we're here to learn. And when I sit on this seat, I am ready to get ideas from women that would help me be a better version. So myself and the audience, we are your students. Please teach us. What does awakening the real you mean in the context of your own life? And what steps are you taking to achieve this? Awakening the real you. So, there was my brother and I were having a conversation very recently, and he was saying that, you know, sometimes I try to liken personalities with animals, with creations, and I think you're water. And I told him, what do you mean by that? And I said something to him, but that I can't say on camera. I was like, yo, bro, Charlie, I tire you with this, your philosophy. He's like, I think you're water. Because every time I find you in a space in my head, this girl will not function here. You thrive.
Exactly.
So what it is that, so water, right, no matter where you churn a path for it to go through, it will go through.
Exactly.
And sometimes even make room for more of itself to go through it. So so there's a thing that I can't say, that you can't direct water. It will spread. It will go where it wants to go. And if you try to create a smaller place for it, it will survive there. Make a bigger room and it will still exist in that bigger room. And I was like, that's actually amazing. But I've never thought of myself like that. So ever since we had that conversation, I started looking around myself and I realized that actually, I've always trained to be a journalist. I've never gone to any school for anything else, but I've been a marketing person before. I've been in sales before. I've been in career consulting before. I have been in, we'll give it to the gods. And I'm like, but all these things, people actually thought I was trained for these things. I've also been a wife before to an imaginary husband. Wow. I had to say that one. But getting that personality out can totally be a hoax for yourself, because you're doing a lot of things, but you don't know who you are. That path of identifying the real you, have you been able to achieve that? Where you sit and be like, nah, this is who I am, and I am fully in that capacity to live this me. Or sometimes you feel like, I'm not there yet, but I'll get there. You want to start?
I think I can actually relate to your this philosophy of being water and doing so many things, because that's what people call me. When I tell them the things I've done, it's, hey, you're a jack of all trades. And even sometimes I don't even understand how I'm able to do all these things.
Absolutely.
And the fact is that a lot of these things, I actually do enjoy them. So it's not like I'm just
existing in them.
exactly.
Right?
So I actually like to do so many things, and somehow when it comes up, I'm like, okay, I could do this, and then I do it, right? And then it's like you said, sometimes you could get to a point where you're wondering, who am I really in all these things? You know, you need to really be intentional to not get lost. But what I've also come to realize is that what you need to do is look at yourself, how you show up in all of these things, and look for like the common factor, right? So like you said, everything you have to do, you do it well. So number one, you're adaptable. You know how to adapt to the situation. You're somebody who is dedicated. You know, you're able to dedicate yourself and make sure you do it well. And you know, if it's like what you're doing right now, you're also looking at empowering women. So you love to give back to your fellow people. You love to give back to your community. So if you're able to look at the common factor in all these things, you might be able to now understand yourself. And that's where I take it from. So in all the things I do, one thing that really makes me happy is I do sales as well. I sell cars, I've sold real estate, I do media as well. The part that I really know that I can find in common in all these things is that I love to do things that people will appreciate. I love to do something and somebody will say, yes, this benefited me. I loved your service. You know, because of you, I was able to get this thing and the process was smooth. I felt like I could trust somebody and you delivered. That's what I like to do. Or when I host a show and then somebody says, oh my gosh, I enjoyed the show. That's the part that makes me the most fulfilled. So now I've been able to realize that I can do anything, but I need to make sure that anything I'm doing, I'm impacting someone.
It directly impacts them, because that's that's your purpose.
That's the
that is the real you.
Exactly.
That's what the innate you enjoys.
Exactly.
Love that. Love
Right.
that. I saw you not throughout the you're like,
Yeah. So what has worked for me personally is self-reflection. I always advise self-reflection. What is self-reflection? You sitting with yourself and having a conversation with yourself all the time.
Yeah.
What can you do? What can't you do? So I sit with myself. Most of the time we have time for everybody else apart from ourselves.
Very true.
It's very important that you create a day within the week, could be a weekend, out of your busy schedule, probably 30 minutes. I sit with myself, have a conversation with myself, just so that I know where I need to improve, what I can do to better myself as a woman. All of the time I sit down with my journal and then I write certain things down. Okay, I'm doing a lot of things. What can I do more that can help me shine in whatever that I do? What can I do more to help my light shine? Whatever it is, service that I'm giving out there, what can I do to be better at what I do? So when I sit with myself and journal, I write all these things down, it helps me reflect. I look onto these things, wow, these are things that I can do to better myself in the coming week. I reflect on the week. How has the week been? What can I do to improve in the subsequent weeks to come? So those are things that I focus on. Also, I practice the mirror technique. This is something I call the mirror technique. I look at myself in the mirror because we do so many things. You can be a jack of all trades, but how do you empower yourself as a woman?
to be the jack of all trades.
Like,
That's it. Yeah.
I look
Because
at
that can
myself
wear you
in
out.
the mirror.
Yes. Yeah.
That is an image of myself that I'm speaking to. I look at myself in the mirror and I speak to myself daily. 5 positive affirmations daily. I am strong. I can do it. I can do anything that I set my heart and my mind to do. So these are things I do to empower myself to keep being on the go as a woman. So these are things I do to empower myself and I do to empower others as well.
And that's so true, because you can't pour from an empty cup, right? But we really do not. Yeah.
I don't know why. When I'm going to go back all the way to the beginning of this show. When I asked you how you felt about it, when my producer sent she said to me the topic, I told her to send it to me immediately, because I was like, it's such a big conversation. I don't think one show can exhaust.
You're right.
But it's also very heartbreaking that a lot of us live in such borrowed lives, lives that we saw other people live, and so we are mirroring other people's lives. And you know the thing about, I want a mentor and I need a mentor, because I'm going to get into the mentorship bit, because you are the people who have been advising on mentorship, where we become mini versions of our mentors, as opposed to elevating the who we are. The who, so because that's who a mentor is supposed to nurture the you to come out to be that person, your authentic self. But then we become a mini version of our mentors, speaking, talking, dressing, just becoming a mini version of our mentors. And then we live that borrowed life for the rest of our lives. And you realize that it burns you out. At some point, you don't feel so fulfilled. You think like everything is working, the money is coming, the connections are, but you just are tired. Your mind is not at rest because you're not living. And so that's why I said, you know what, let's go for it. Like, let's go for it. Let's have this conversation. Because some women out there need to know that your path, and you mentioned something about charting your own path, your path is not that of your mentors.
Right.
Your path is not that of the people that you love or want to be like. You have a unique path and you need to be. My brother says it better, and I talk a lot with my brother, so I'm sorry. And my mom too. Today I've not called my mom. Wow, that's strange. We had too much conversation. Hey, Kweku, don't talk to me again. He and I were talking, and I was telling him that he was saying a lot of things. You know, have you read this person? You know, when it comes to journalists, these people have done it. I'll be reading. I'm like, do you also know what I am?
Yeah.
Because I think my kind of journalism hasn't showed up yet. And if I don't be that kind of journalist, there's never going to be that person.
You're going to end up just being one of the rest.
How many operas have you met? How many operas have you met?
Yeah.
Sound like opera, do a show as long as opera. Jessica Williams just left her show, right? How many Jessica Williams do we have? But we have the Carrie Clarkson or whatever. All these people have their individual shows, but nobody does it the way she does it. There's one Mimi, and that Mimi I can read about other people, but I cannot be them. And my path is just me on that journey. For me, it's better to be on a journey that is just you, your path, as opposed to following the trends where there's so many other people. There's traffic there.
Right.
True.
Too many people on that. Where will you get? When would you be noticed? When would you be?
Trends change, so you're just going to be.
So you're going to just be
Exactly.
It's very
dilly-dallying with your entire destiny.
It's very important to understand that every person is unique.
Yes.
You are unique in your own way. When you first of all understand the concept of uniqueness, you wouldn't want to compare yourself to anybody. Not even your mentor, not even anybody that inspires you. If you understand that your path and your journey is unique and is different, you walk your path differently. Understanding your true self means that you want to walk your path because you are unique in your own way. You need to be inspired by your own journey. Okay, your mentor did it this way. How can you do it differently? It doesn't mean you should copy their style. What can you do that can make you stand out as unique? Your pathway is different, so you do not have to compare your journey to another person's.
My question to you on the mentorship thing is, how do we focus on our own path whilst we're getting mentored by another person? Because that can be very tricky. I don't know the science behind it, but you're going to tell us. Because one can't change because, like, you know, because how do I stay focused? Like, I want to be this person, but I need a mentor too. I need someone who will guide me. I need someone who's been on that path too, that I don't end up becoming them, but still focus on, like, how do I do it?
So you need to sit down and understand that you're different from your mentor. Your mentor has probably had 20 years experience in whatever you want to become like. Now imagine they being ahead of you 20 years. Why would you want to chase after them and be where they are just immediately? You need to take your time and have self-compassion on yourself. You do not have to compare yourself to your mentor. You rather have to be inspired by their journey. Now, how do you stay focused? You understand that, okay, she is different or he is different. I'm learning from them. Now, these are the things that they did, and I love it. It's beautiful. How can I be different? Probably I can use this path. Now, most of the times, you can confuse maybe the way they speak. You can choose to speak like them. And then immediately, you need to be self-conscious of yourself. Whenever you are watching your mentor, be self-conscious of yourself. That, okay, am I copying their style? Am I actually focusing on me being like them too much that I'm not
getting inspired by
focusing
them
on myself? Because your journey, our individual journeys are beautiful. That's one thing that we always miss, that our journeys are beautiful as well. In as much as our mentors are way ahead of us, which is very important that we have mentors to guide us, let's just make sure that we are staying focused not copying their style, but focusing on ourselves. How well can we stand out, uniquely different? It's beautiful as well.
Yes.
Our journeys are beautiful. That is one thing that we need to understand. You can be great too, just like your mentor. Just make sure that you understand and believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Very
And you
important.
also need to remember, you know, the fear comes in that what if people don't like me for who I am? But the truth is, your own people will love you for you. You need to remember that.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And my people know when the knowledge is overwhelming, I have to take my time to consume what is going on.
Right.
Your own people, it does not mean the people you choose or the people you think should be in your life. Your own people. The people that are meant, created, and designed to be in your space, in your life, on the journey with you, will accept you for your true self.
Right.
I also had a man of God, is it Joshua Selman or Sarah Jakes, one of them, and they were talking about, it's Sarah Jakes. God is not blessing you because you're not your authentic self. We're going to go, you guys don't mind us going, you ladies don't mind us going on the Jesus path, yes, because I mean, you got to come on the journey. I'm a Jesus baby, so you have to deal with it.
Right.
God cannot bless the version that you're showing up in because that's not you. That's not who He created. And that blessing He has is not meant for this fake self.
Yeah.
That's the imitation you're living.
Right.
Very true.
If I am living Jessica's life, that's not who God is trying to bless. God is trying to bless the original Mimi. So until that Mimi shows up, there's no blessing for you.
Right.
Do we catch that? I thought that was amazing. I was like, this is mind blowing. Because when the topics are given to me, I look at different speakers and what they say about being your authentic self. And this one blew my mind. Because I'm like, because why are we doing so much but not getting blessed? Why are we praying so much but not getting blessed? But one of the visions we're missing or revelations we're missing is the fact that we're not being the woman or the women that God has designed us to be. We are living a borrowed life, and you want God to bless the imitation. He doesn't know you. He doesn't know this person you're showing up as.
Right.
Now, having said that, let's deep praise.
Yeah.
Now, so this zooms me back into religion. Because some of my women that listen to me are Muslims, are Buddhists, and we want to respect their religion. As Christians, we are looking at, and in every other part of the religious scope that anybody belongs to, how do we, as we rise and unlearn and grow, how do we inculcate religion in this or our beliefs? How does that help shape us to become the best version of ourselves?
I think that's a good one, because when I was thinking about, we're talking about identity. We've been talking about identity, and when I think about that, the first and foremost part is, who do you believe your Creator made you to be? Who does your Creator say you are? Right? Once you're able to understand that identity, and as Christians, we know that we're called, as women who believe in God, we know that we're His daughters. We're daughters of the Most High. And how can you, as a daughter of the Most High, be okay with
Be so low.
with okay with being burnt out continuously, be okay with not even having that peace? You know when you're going through so much and you're doing so much and you can't even rest, you can't even talk to God in the way you normally do, you're just exhausted. Do we really think that's what God wants us to feel? And this is something that I've also had to deal with. There was a time, I think about 2 years ago, I was doing so much, I was so exhausted and all I could hear was, I felt like the Lord was telling me to just rest. To just rest. And I think at that time I quit all the jobs I was doing and I just focused on my business. And I said, God, if you're telling me to rest, then let me just do that. I let that go. I rested. And interestingly, the money I even made the next few months after was even more than I had made the beginning of the whole year while doing so much. And sometimes that's very important. God really prioritizes rest. He wants us to be at peace, to trust Him. And as women, that's also very important because, to have that backing of your father it's like it's a propeller. It can push you
Very
to do
deep.
so many things, so much more than you even think you can achieve. And I feel like it's very important to cultivate that relationship with him and really understand our position as daughters,
Right.
and own it. You know? Yeah.
Right.
These girls are
Just to
powerful.
add to what she
No,
mentioned.
say your own. Don't add. But the way you're shaking your head, I know there's something.
Right. We also need to encourage ourselves with scriptures.
Yeah.
What does the word of God say about you? Knowing and understanding your purpose and your true worth as a woman, you can find that in the word. And encourage yourself with scriptures, because it's okay to feel low. It's okay to feel like you're losing your self-confidence. Speak to God about it. Go into your secret room. Speak to God about it. He's your friend. Talk to him. God, this is how I feel. I feel like I'm comparing myself to people. I feel like my mates are way ahead of me and I'm far behind. God, this is how I feel. Talk to him about how you feel. He's going to embrace you and encourage you with his word. And all the time to meditate on the scriptures that you read. Whenever you feel weary, you feel bent out, you feel like things are not working the way you want things to work, you're losing your self-esteem. Remind yourself of the confidence that God placed in you, that he knows the plans that he has for you. Be encouraged by that word as a believer. Be encouraged by it. When you're encouraged by it, it helps boost your self-confidence. You know that, okay, it's going to help me stay focused on my path instead of comparing my journey to that
Other
of
people.
others.
When the conversation is getting exciting, we have to take a break to process the knowledge that is going through the speakers and even me, myself, and of course yourself. And so we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, the conversation continues right here on The Dish. We'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back to The Dish on MX24. My name is Miriam Uduack Mensah. The Dish is presented by Epiglow. Now, very recently I traveled, and when I was coming back, a lady on the flight told me that your skin is very nice. Which part of Africa do you come from? I said, I come from Ghana, sponsored by Epiglow. You know, my skin was giving what it's supposed to give, and thanks to Epiglow. So I tell you, if you want to glow right, without having to worry about what the skin is going through, like what the skin might go through after the product that you use, Epiglow is holding you down on that. So grab you an Epiglow facial cream and a body cream, like your full body cream, because you don't hey, I've warned you here, don't go and use the cream that you're using on the whole body or your face, my sister. You don't do that. Oh, don't do that. Okay, so get you a facial cream from Epiglow, and of course your entire body. We have a special lotion for you that will take care of your entire skin and pamper you. You deserve it. I want to say a big thank you to Decos and of course Gino, Telecel, and Betway. Now back in the studio, we were talking before we went on the break. We were talking about the religious aspect of this entire getting to know your bits. And I was trying to tell you ladies that when you buy one of these appliances and what have you, they put a manual in it. And the manual is from the producer. It shows you how the product should be used. We're given parents to guide us. But when you're not finding your path, like the equipment that gets spoiled, who do you go back to? You go back to the producers or a representative of the producers. Why do we think that we can live this life without asking the who created us for the manual? I don't know how we've actually tried to do that. But now that we've seen the light, repent. Now, we want to talk about a very big aspect of this conversation, that is the societal aspect, where society's expectations influence who we become, what the decisions, in fact, the life decisions that we take. How? What steps have we, personally, I could share all that I want to share, but as young ladies, as beautiful as you are, as wonderfully made in wisdom and in power, these are some of the women that walk in the room, you know not to misbehave. They carry presence. As you set on this journey called life, you know, societal expectations were thrown at you. How were you able to handle yourself? Let me start from her. How were you able to manage yourself through societal expectations that they didn't influence you completely to become something totally different from what God has designed you to be?
Okay. The truth is, the first thing is God. Like my whole life, there's definitely been, I mean, starting my life, when I decided to become my own woman and, make certain decisions for myself, I was faced with the choice of, should I do this the world's way or should I do this the God way? The God way was tougher. I'm not going to lie.
It was. It always is.
It's usually more difficult.
Right.
It takes much more time.
Right?
But I'm still glad I did.
Yeah.
Because the peace that comes with knowing that, you I don't know how to explain it, but that you didn't compromise just because of, the momentary benefits. And you're still on that journey trusting your Father, or trusting that your Father would come through for you, no matter how long it takes or how difficult it gets. So that was the first thing. So you need to have, for people that might not believe in God, it's principles, but for us, it's the faith, which is also guided by certain principles, right? So you need to have those principles. These are my principles. This is something I would not compromise on. Okay, I'm faced with a situation. This is an opportunity for me. What's the opportunity cost? What do they want me to do before I can get this opportunity? If it does not align with my principles, then that's not from God. That's not for me. Let's find something else. So once a woman, and a person in general for that matter, is able to decide that these are my principles, it makes things easier. Because when you're faced with life, so you just go back to the manual, like you said. You go back to the manual, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is what I'm not supposed to do. And then you're able to tailor your path. And the thing is, society is very strong because you always have the majority of people going the other way. And you have to really fight to be on that straight path. And it can be really painful. It can be really tough seeing your mates, your juniors, and get into positions or getting into situations where you're wondering, why am I still here? Why am I still stuck here? Because I'm trying to do the right thing. Why am I still here? But the consolation is that at least you know that you're right with God. You're right with your Father. And
So it doesn't matter whether you have arrived or not.
You will still arrive. And, worst case, if you don't arrive on this earth, you would arrive
in heaven.
Exactly. So that's it.
And the goal is to be right before Him. So what does it matter if you don't arrive
that's
here?
The thing. But God always takes care of His people.
Yeah.
I mean, if not for anything, the peace that you get, the peace that makes no sense, the peace that surpasses understanding, that's one thing that you get when you're with God, and you truly understand Him and have that relationship with Him. So I believe that's the main thing. That's the one thing.
That's what has shielded you from societal pressures.
Is community. Another very important thing is community. Who do you surround yourself with? Do you have sisters who believe the same principles? Do you have older women, even men, even pastors that actually believe the same thing you do? Because that helps. You will get to moments where you're faced with a difficult decision. You don't really know what to do. Who do you talk to? The people you talk to, or the sources you get your inspiration from would determine or would play a very strong role in determining the choices you make. And that's very important. Those two things: your principles, your faith, who you are aligned with, and then your community. Those things are two of the main things that influence your decisions. And I believe my sister over here would continue with the rest.
What has worked for me personally is focus. Focus, very key for me, because I try to silence the noise from society. I try to silence it and focus on my own journey. I often get inspired by my own path. I allow my own journey to inspire me. Because I look at myself and I'm like, okay, I'm doing well. And sometimes what we miss is applauding ourselves for our little progresses. All the time we want to get the big awards and get called for, you did this good, you did that well. But we don't applaud ourselves for even our little progress. Even the baby step you're able to take to achieve something, you need to applaud yourself for it because you're doing well. So all the time, focus is what has helped me. And God as well. Because when I stay focused, there will be days where I'll feel weary, I'll feel burdened. I go to the manual, like we mentioned. I go to God. This is how I feel about this situation. Help me through it. And it's always about being patient. When you want to walk the God's path, you need to be patient. And you need to give yourself grace and self-compassion. All the time we beat ourselves up. You're not doing this so well. You should have gotten here by this time, because we're allowing society's noise to push ourselves into doing things we're not supposed to do just yet. So when you gradually silence the noise by focusing on your path, being patient on your journey, having self-compassion on yourself that yes, you will get there, but it will take time. Can you wait? You need to give yourself that grace to wait. So focus is one thing that has helped me, and God as well as my guide. Whenever I feel burdened, I go to God. Guide me. Then he'll whisper to you, patience. Can you wait? Can you wait? That is one thing I want to encourage us all women watching this. That let's, focus on our own journeys. Allow our own journeys to inspire us. We are looking at too many people too much instead of ourselves. How well are you doing as a woman? Clap for yourself sometimes, because you're doing well. Even the little wins, you're doing well. Applaud yourself.
And two things I'm picking from here. Community. Who is in your corner? Because what you just said is so powerful, but who is there to help you propel that? Who is the propeller? What is the propeller? If you're not self-motivated like you are, I'm telling you, the environment will shut that strength down. Even if you came on this earth with it.
Right.
If it is part of your DNA, it will shut it down. Because sometimes, you know how very recently I started a project, and I was speaking to one of the young girls that is on the project. She's one of our wonderful girls that we're about to hit the world with, incredible young lady. And I asked her, why did you even do this? She was like, in my area that I grew up in, Choco, if you are this age and you don't have a child, forget it. You're useless. Like, you have not arrived. They'll tell you, look at all your mates have children, you're walking around here wasting your time going to school. That was what it was. And she's determined to change that narrative. But she became a victim of the society that she lived in. So sometimes, just sometimes. I remember it was just right here in this couch that a young lady was telling us that sometimes when you're growing as a young girl, you don't even know that your breast is here, that your bum is bigger, that your hair or your face your cheekbones are looking perfect. You don't see all these things because you're just eating and growing until someone tells you that, I don't know, it's why it's society. So silencing the voices around you has become very important. You ladies, where did you come from? Now, how has your perspective of womanhood or femininity evolved over time, and what triggered these changes? Every day I say we learn, but do we really learn? Sometimes we go through situations and phases and we just go through it. I said this earlier. We just go through. We don't allow ourselves to learn. But some people, some women are just killing it out here, evolving with the situations. Like, okay, this happened to me. I am this woman now. And this woman is probably going to show up with a fair and high heels. Not the one with the flats and the messy hair and the bad hair days. I'm going to show up clean every time, even if I'm broken. But because of what I've had to go through. How has your journey evolved with time and with all the experiences you've had?
Okay, so with my experiences, the thing is, like I mentioned at the beginning, I've been able to understand that being a woman, or being your true self, or being ideal, varies in different situations. There's not one. It's not a one size fits all. On one hand, and it's even for you as a person. It's not the same you yesterday might not be the same you that you need to thrive today. You need to be willing to you need to be willing to let yourself grow. You need to be willing to let yourself expand or contract, depending on the situation. But the thing is, you need to focus on what truly matters to you. That's the thing. What's truly important to you in general, because if you really let life life is really can be really tough.
Yeah.
Things can happen and you're like, how did I even get here? And it really takes, like you said, giving yourself that grace. That's very important. And that's one thing I've realized a lot of us don't do. Even with me, it takes a lot to even to get myself to rest. I don't know, as women, society has placed it, a lot of us grew up feeling like we needed to carry the world on our shoulders. For some people, it's your personal upbringing. Maybe in your family, your parents weren't there and you had to step up and then provide for yourself and for the rest of your family. And sometimes the way things start could somehow define who you are until you're able to look back and say, no, is this really who I want to be? So for example, somebody that grew up in a home where they had to take care of everything, that thing, it keeps presenting itself throughout your life. You're going through jobs, you're carrying everybody's job on your shoulder.
You find a man, you're carrying him. You're carrying him.
You're about to have kids. You're even about to maybe do something interesting for yourself and you're like, no, because I'm supposed to have kids at this point, I'm doing that. And then now you have kids. Try and even go back to the thing you love. And you find a lot of our women just letting it go, feeling like, okay, at this point I've had kids. According to the society, that phase is gone.
Right.
This is me now. And then you see a woman that had so many dreams, the woman that had a purpose, so much that she could give to the society, just letting it go. I mean, there's no, if for you, your purpose at that moment is just to be a mom, that's beautiful. I'm talking about women who sacrificed it and always have that regret. Because it's so, some people really decide at this point, this is all I want to be, and that's beautiful. Like, give yourself to that purpose. Like, be the best mom, because you're raising the next generation. But there's other women who are in that situation that every day they're thinking about the regret. Oh, I could have done this. I could have been that.
Right.
You could even start now, but you see, as humans, we get to a point where we think it's too late to start afresh.
Especially women.
Right.
Especially women. It's
Especially
too late
women.
to do it. Meanwhile, you're probably 40 and there's like 50 years ahead of you, and you feel like at 40 it's too late for me to start. It could just take a year or two to learn the new skill you wanted to learn. And then another year to just put it into practice. And then that's in 5 years, you could be like a whole different person. You could start learning how to be a host. And in 5 years, you're like, oh, who's this big host over here? But we just feel, I should have done this in my 20s. Now it's too late. That's it. And then before you realize she's 70 and she's like, oh, I could have done this. And then you're like, okay, you know what? My kids would do it for. And that's just what a lot of us have.
We're now living vicariously through our children.
Exactly. So for me, like you asked, is understanding that, or trying to remind myself every step of the way, that if I'm on a path and I feel, you know what, I feel like I'm just going with the motions right now, what do I really want to do? Take a step back. Yeah. And if what I have to do is set a timeline, okay, maybe right now I just need to be here because of this particular situation, but in a year from now, I need to make sure I do what I really want to do. Give this particular task or this particular phase a few more months. Yeah. And make sure you switch up to what you really want to do. Because otherwise you'll be there, 5 years have passed and you wonder why you never quit that job. You wonder why you never started that business. You wonder why you never, even right now, set up that YouTube channel.
Right.
And that's one thing, like, that's...
She's talking to herself.
You wonder why, and the time is just gone. But again, even if you're in that position right now, remember that you can start today. Yeah. Right. You can start tomorrow. Even if 5 years have gone by, start now.
You can start right now.
That's it.
And you see, again, I was trying to make a point earlier that support is very important to your community.
It is. That's very true.
As a life coach, you would advise people, get you the right people, but you know that even as a parent, raising the opposite gender is very difficult. If you're a woman raising a boy, it's harder. So you'd rather you have a daughter so that you can totally relate to every journey of hers, so you can teach her easier. I mean, it's easier that way. It's easier to get support from men as opposed to getting support from women. Why is that? And on this journey of discovering and finding your true self or your true identity, what is the benefit of having your girl, them in your corner?
Very important to have a woman supportive community. Very important. Now, we have so many women empowerment events from time to time. you could surround yourself with positive women, people who have self-compassion, people who care about your needs. Surround yourself with that positive community. You see a program, a women's empowerment program, and you feel like you're free within the weekend, you can attend, just pass through. Surround yourself with that positive aura, that positive community of women. They are sitting there, sharing their experiences, learn from their experiences. Whatever it is that they are sharing with you, listen and take some points home while you go. Learn from people. It's very important that when you surround yourself with that positive community, it's not just about surrounding, it's about learning from the experiences shared. Okay, I learned this from these events that I attended. What am I picking from whatever this person shared to add on to my life? It's very important. You can stay self-motivated, but it's also good that when you surround yourself with like-minded women, focused on your path, who care about your needs, is very good on your journey. Very important. You cannot do away with support from other women.
And also, I would add to that, be a woman that supports other women. Be that person you want to have in your corner.
Right.
That's it. Because once it starts, you attract your type of people to you. So that's very, very important.
I've never heard this one before. I'm telling you. I've heard women supporting women, but I've never heard the be a woman that supports other women. Because we are all looking for support, that we forget that we could also be the support another woman needs.
Exactly.
You people, our producers, finish me. Finish me on this show, because you give me the best guests. For every conversation, we have the best women sitting in my couch, supporting, and this is our own way of supporting our young girls. Because I'm telling you, by the time this show is 10 years old, we should have a community of women that are saying that we are women of the dish. Women that the women on the dish have impacted, and this is the result. And so be watching this space. We have a lot of innovative things we're coming up with the dish, so that we can directly impact young women. Because it's not about the talk anymore, it's also about the talk and the action. We're going to be women that actually support other women. Beautiful. Jessica, Vanessa, Jessica, Jessica and Jacky. Wait. Jacky. Because I keep...
You know what's so funny? Vanessa is my little sister's name. So when you said it, I was like, oh.
Vanessa is here. Vanessa came to work with you. Ladies, thank you so much for coming through. I really enjoyed this conversation. And I'm sure you did, because your smiles were just like...
It's been a beautiful conversation.
It is. And I think we should do a part two, just because we want to sit back again. What do you think?
Yeah.
Just because we want to sit back in this couch again, let's just do part two. Part two of this is coming very soon on your screens. The ladies and gentlemen who keep joining me, and I hear some gentlemen make time to watch the dish, and I want to thank you so much, because this entire team is 90% men. And so they're always learning from us. But to you out there, one would say that, oh, wait, they say a Marshall Debbie. You men make time to watch us, to understand your women, to understand your sisters, your mothers, and why they show up the way they show up, and how you could support them. And we say thank you to you. But to you women out there, I keep telling you, we're here to teach you. We don't only teach you with women who have experience. We are teaching you with women, or women sit in this couch. The women who sit in this couch are progressive women who are thinking, what is the next generation going to be like if I don't help them? And so please, we're learning and growing together here on The Dish. My name is Miriam Uduack Mensah. It has been The Dish here on MX24. Join us every Monday as we delve into big conversations that will impact. We want to say big thank you to Decozone. As for Epiglow, dear, they said if that skin has to pop and glow the way it's supposed to glow, Epiglow is the cream for your entire body. We have facial cream and the entire body cream for you. Also, a big thank you to Telecel, Betway, and Gino. See you again next week as we come back with another amazing conversation that would impact your life. See you.